Well, just I mean, you seem to have a lot of Missouri ties for somebody who wasn't born here. I mean, you played here under Bickerstaff with the St. Louis team, and you end up at UMKC and things like that. I mean, why does it seem like Missouri just keeps calling you?
Honestly, by coincidence, really, I ended up at UMKC because of my college roommate.
Yeah.
Obviously played in the CBA for Coach Bickerstaff in St. Louis. My mother and family live in the St. Louis area as well. So, we've always been close to the St. Louis area, Central Illinois. I was born in Quincy, Illinois, so being close to St. Louis we've always been fairly close to St. Louis. So, Missouri has always been. Hasn't been foreign to our family at all.
Take me through. I know you were in the SEC before at Mississippi State, and then there was a coaching change, right? Mm-hmm. And you had twins on the way, so you had to kind of wait.
No, they're here now.
Yeah.
So when I was at Mississippi State, there was a coaching change. I was with Rick Ray, who's now at SEMO, head coach at SEMO, and my wife and I were going through a pretty difficult pregnancy, so there was a waiting period for me to take another job.
Yeah.
And a lot of people asked, a lot of people interested, and I needed to wait and be with my wife, and I was fortunate and to have obviously great friends in this business, and one of them happened to be one of my best friends in the world, and he was patient with me and allowed me to take my time, be with my wife, wait for the birth of my daughters, and then move on into the next step of my coaching career.
Yeah. Now, you recruited St. Louis for Kareem, didn't you? So, you spent a lot of time recruiting over at St. Louis the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, I mean, and
where did you recruit for Rick?
All over. We recruited all over. I've been fortunate to have jobs in all different regions of the country. The only place really I haven't been is out west. And, being at the United States Military Academy, you get the opportunity to recruit out west because it's a national recruiting base out there. And then you move to a school like Evansville, is more regional. Along with Mississippi State, you get your feet, you're down in the South, and you get the opportunity to recruit down in the South. And, without being specific about anything, I've been fortunate to have a lot of great ties here in the Midwest as well. So I've been doing it a long time, a lot longer than it's gone fast. So national recruiting has been something I've done. Midwest recruiting, something I've done. I've kind of done a little bit of everything.
So how did you know Conzo? I mean, what was that relationship like? And was it a no-brainer when he called and asked you if you were interested in joining this staff?
Coach and I have known each other for a number of years through a lot of mutual friends. Spent some time with him when he's been a part of former staffs, competed against him in the Valley and in the SEC, and always have had great admiration for what his teams do, what he stands for as a man and as a coach. And yes, it was a no-brainer when he called and asked me to join his staff. I'm one of the lucky ones in this business that have had the great fortune of working for guys that I've known and I've trusted, and that know me and trust me. And it's not always the case in our business, and the most important thing for me is to tie myself and to be around guys that I know and trust, and I feel really good about, not just as a coach and as a professional, but as a man.
Coach Martin talked a little bit about how he really wanted you and Cornell to focus in on the offense, especially because he gets so tunnel visioned on the defense. I mean, what's your experience working with offenses, and how do you feel like that'll complement what Coach Martin already does?
Well, I've had the great fortune of working for some guys that would probably be considered some of the very best offensive guys in the country. Jim Cruz was way ahead of his time when he was at Evansville, and his teams were always very good offensively. Obviously the analytics weren't around back then when we were. We're all dinosaurs now, but when we played. But if there were analytics back then that was studied, I bet his teams were some of the most efficient teams in the country. And I had the great fortune of playing for him for 3 years and then working for him for 7. And I take great pride in the fact that I had the opportunity to do that. So I've been around some Marty Simmons, as brilliant an offensive guy as there is right now, and not well known. And so the fact that Coach has asked us to kind of concentrate on that. But I think this. I don't think this is an individual thing with this staff. I think we're all going to concentrate on all areas within the program. I think this group just being here for the few days that we've been together is very cohesive already, and with a lot of great experience, a number of years at this level, and I think we're all really excited working together on all aspects of the program.
Do you have to change at all the way that you recruit going from UMKC to a Mizzou, and I'm guessing you guys weren't in on a lot of 5-stars at UMKC on a regular basis, or?
I think recruiting is about relationships, and I don't think that changes at any level. And I think when you dive into relationships and you pour into people, I think the recruiting stays the same no matter if you're at West Point, where you're recruiting a certain type of individual, you're at Evansville, where you're recruiting. I don't think it changes anywhere. And I think just your effort and your overall relationship building ability has everything to do with where you are recruiting.
What was the process like with Coach Martin? I mean, I know when we get the press release, it generally didn't just happen 10 minutes before that. So kind of what was the process, and when did you actually come to an agreement with him?
We had a number of conversations on the phone. And obviously, Coach and I have a prior relationship, so it wasn't anything awkward, anything like that. And it actually was very quick once it happened. It was he asked me to come, and I said yes. So there wasn't much of a process to it, if that's what there wasn't much to it. It was, obviously there's a comfort level between us as friends and as acquaintances, friends, and so when he called, it wasn't like we haven't talked before, so it was just a normal conversation. As we went down the road with it, it was obviously I answered earlier, a no-brainer for my family and I.
What have been your impressions just in a few days, and obviously being able to be around campus this weekend and everything, of how hungry this fan base is and the reception you guys have gotten?
Overwhelming. I knew growing up in Illinois, close to Missouri, how excited and how passionate the Mizzou fan base is. I was fortunate to play with a couple guys that were some of the bigger names here, Doug Smith and Derek Grimm. I played with them in the minor leagues. Those guys got to play in the major leagues. I played in the minor leagues, but and they would always tell stories about the passion and living in St. Louis for those couple years I was with the Swarm. It's obvious, and as you get here and you're around it for just a little bit, you can totally sense it. There's no doubt this fan base is one of the most passionate in the country, and I'm super excited to be a very, very small part of it.
What do you remember about